These are...
My name is Nekme Obasoge. I'm broadcasting from Toronto, Canada. Today's topic is about a great Nigerian man that is well known for his humble and selfless community service here in Toronto and in Nigeria, Dr. Chidi Cadet Iwayawu. I personally called him the pivot of peace and leadership. After years of serving the community here in Toronto, Dr. Chidi decided to join AAC political party in Nigeria and is currently running for the governor of Enugu State. Dr. Chidi is a multi-talented man with many titles. He's a chief, politician, architect, minister, reverend, and a singer. For those who are watching now, they will be curious about what is your profession in Canada?
Well, I am a trained architect. I have a master's degree in architecture.
Okay.
I am a member of the Ontario Association of Architects. I am also a member of the Royal Institute of Canadian Architects. And my wife is also an architect. We both own Fixed Team Building Contractors Limited.
Okay.
And yes, that's my profession. And also, I am also a minister. I have a doctorate degree in philosophy. So I'm also Reverend Dr. Chidi. I'm a chaplain. So as I'm also a coach. I'm a life coach. Yes, I was trained by JT Fox. So I'm a student of JT Fox. And
what type of coaching is that?
JT Fox is a life coach. It teaches you how to go about business, how to be an entrepreneur.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, I and my wife, we took courses under him. It costs a lot of money, and now we also counsel people. Apart from being a Christian counselor and a marriage counselor too, I coach people, and from that training, we come to understand that you must be able to diversify and have multiple streams of income. So apart from being a contractor and owning a construction business, I also own a media business. Okay, and under that media business, that's where we produce musical videos, we produce artists, and we also have a musical album.
His genuine sense of humor and generous community service earned him several awards here in Toronto. In November 2018, Dr. Chidi was also honored with a chieftaincy title in Ozala, Enugu State. In 2009, he was elected as the president of Enugu State Association in Canada, where he served for 2 years. While in 2015, he was also elected as the president of Nigerian Canadian Association in the largest Nigerian community in Canada, Toronto. After the end of his tenure as the president of Nigeria Canadian Association in 2018, he decided to join AAC political party in Nigeria, and he's currently running for the governor of Enugu State. And also, you were also the president of Nigeria Canadian Association here in Toronto for how many years?
Well, before I actually became the president of the Nigerian Canadian Association, when I came to Canada in 2007, after just a year here, I wanted to impact my people here, my people, not just Nigerians, but my people from Enugu State. So I contested for the position of president of Enugu State Association, and I became the president of Enugu State Association here in Canada. And then 2 years after that, I became the social secretary for the Nigerian Canadian Association, and then a year later, I became actually 2 years later, I became the president of the Nigerian Canadian Association. So I've served the community here for 4 years, and after that, I had to resign and then start my quest to be the governor of Enugu State.
Okay, do you think being the president of Nigerian Canadian Association also prepared you for the position that you are running in now?
Oh yeah, my dear. I think that has really prepared me, because for you to be in a leadership position, amongst Nigerians in diaspora, you know what it means. Nigerians in diaspora are amongst the toughest set of people that you can deal with, because they are intellectually sound, they are exposed,
yes.
they are not poor, so everybody is an oga. So
yes, exactly.
For you to really be able to lead them in harmony, in peace, and be able to interact well with everybody, it's not an easy task. So
yes.
Having done that successfully for 2 years, I mean, having worked with the community for 4 years and been able to do that successfully, it has prepared. In fact, it was because of my experience as the president of the Nigerian Canadian Association that I knew there was need for us to go back home and participate in the politics back home. Because while we were here, we protested, we engaged the government in Nigeria, we wrote letters, we demonstrated, we were always abreast with what was happening in Nigeria. So we felt it was, and they called us internet dogs, they called us all kinds of things, and they dared us to come back home if we are really serious about making a change. And so that's when I decided, you know what, it is better not just to operate from the diaspora. There is need for us to go to the grassroots and participate in the politics of the country.
You just came back from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Campaigning in Enugu State.
Yes, I'm going back soon too.
Tell us your experience in Enugu State. Because I saw you with some grandmothers, grandfathers. Tell us your experience.
My experience is that what we think about politics or leadership or grassroots mobilization in Nigeria, what we think about it is entirely different from what it really is. My experience is an experience of a community and a people who have been really, I'm looking for the right word, but who have been left behind, by the politicians. The politicians have so brainwashed our people, they have so created confusion amongst them, and it is not right. It is not right. These are people who, for so many years, the politicians no longer come to canvass for votes by telling them about their agenda or their manifesto or their time, giving an account of their stewardship. They just come to the people and they distribute money to them.
Yeah.
And what they do is they don't come to see them until after 4 years, when it's time for them to vote. And they don't also embark on poverty alleviation programs. I've come to see this as a terrible and wicked act by politicians back home, because what they've done is that they have denied the people an opportunity to be self-subsistence, and that's why they did not get involved in this self-reliant programs. That's why they didn't get involved in these poverty alleviation programs. So the people don't have money. The people are poor, the people are hungry, and they keep them that way until election time. So that when they come to give them this 1,000 naira, the people are jumping for it.
Because so they are vulnerable. Of course.
So that was my experience back home. I saw that it was more terrible than what we actually thought it was. There's more work to be done back home.
There are lots.
A lot of work to be done. We need to change the people's mindset, their perspective to what is supposed.
Yeah.
It's
going to take a while.
It will take a while, but it's a job that we must do if we must help our people. It's a job that we must do.
So what is your priority list for Enugu?
my 4-point agenda is tied to the 10-point agenda of the African Action Congress, which they represented by the acronym SPICER HIT. Okay, it is out of that that we derive my own 4-point agenda, which is MEGA, and my slogan is to make Enugu great again. So that's a mega vision that so it took us time to coin all of this. And so MEGA, which is mega, is also what we use when I talk about my mega vision for Enugu State, which is a huge vision. And under that MEGA, M represents our plans to multiply agriculture in Enugu State. The fact that in 2018, Enugu State is not self-reliant in agriculture is unacceptable. The fact that we have to be importing corn and yams and vegetables from northern Nigeria, where the conditions are worse than the conditions that we have in our state, is unacceptable. So we are going to embark on a massive mechanized farming program that will make sure that we feed the citizens of Enugu State, but not just feeding the citizens of Enugu State. We're going to be able to export food to other states in Nigeria and also export food outside the country. We have researched this. We have a working committee. We have talked with people. In fact, I was in Nigeria with a mission, a delegation from Canada 2 years ago, and we went around, we spoke with state governors and other people, and we saw people who were already doing it, so I already know that it is possible.
Oh, okay, so yes. People are also doing it.
Okay, Anambra State is already exporting products, farm products to outside the world. Oh, yeah, so I know it is possible. So that's under M. Then under E, we talk about enhancing the economy of Enugu State. Under enhancing the economy of Enugu State, there are so many things that we're going to be dealing with. We're going to be dealing with education. We're going to be dealing with the economics of Enugu State. Well, in fact, let me just tell you one thing I need you to realize about Enugu State. Enugu State is located in a position that makes people who are going to shop in Onitsha, you know Onitsha is a very huge market in the east. People come from northern Nigeria, they pass through the 9th mile corner and they go to Onitsha to shop. They also pass through 9th mile to go to Port Harcourt and to go to Aba to shop. But they don't shop in Enugu.
No, because the products are not there.
So what we're going to do is we're going to establish a mega market in 9th mile.
Oh.
And when we do that, that will explode the economy of Enugu State. We're also going to establish a tax-free zone where people, and you know the airport in Enugu, we're going to make sure that we develop the cargo wing of that airport. There's already an international airport there, but we'll develop that cargo wing so that people can bring in their products. They will not be taxed, and they can establish warehouses around there. They will sell those products right around that airport in the warehouses there, because it's going to be a trade-free zone. So that will make people want to bring in their goods through Enugu instead of coming through Lagos or other places, because they're not going to pay import duties when they bring it through Enugu. You see what that's going to do to the economy of Enugu State.
So there is a international airport in Enugu,
oh,
not
yes.
Local airports.
No, there's international airports in Enugu.
Really?
They've not commissioned it, they've not started using it. For so many years, I don't want to go into that. Enugu State and Eastern Nigeria has suffered a lot of marginalization. Caribbean airport in Enugu is
why
one of the
marginalization.
You tell me why the River Niger is not dredged. You tell me why Enugu State is not functioning as an international airport like Lagos or Port Harcourt. You tell me why a lot of these things are not happening, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
That's what we're coming in to change. Okay, I'm also in talks with Ethiopian Airlines. As you know, Ethiopian Airlines flies directly from overseas to Enugu State. They're about the only airline that does that. I was talking with the manager of Canadian operations. In fact, they've agreed, after we talked to them, to give concessions and discounts to people traveling to Enugu this period. I'm going to publish that very soon. As soon as I get a letter from them, I've been able to negotiate some discounts for our people who are traveling home for Christmas.
You see?
Yeah, this is what we already started doing before we get into the government house. Now, that is so under E. There's so many economic programs that we have. They are contained in my manifesto on my website. Under G, we're going to establish a great health insurance scheme for every citizen of Enugu State, where people will have access to free Medicare, like it's done in several parts of the world. In AAC, we have researched these things. We know it is possible, we know it is doable, and it is coming.
Healthcare problem is one of the biggest issues affecting people in Nigeria. Let me tell you the truth. My father died out of complications that had to do with blood sugar. When I took him to the hospital back home, actually to the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital, there was no single equipment. I'm not talking about equipment, just this small testing machine to test for blood sugar. In the whole hospital, we had to book. And I think it was only one that was working. And these are things that people get here free. That was what prompted us when we came back here. We went around, we didn't even have to buy. We just solicited from our family doctor and their friends, and we got over 20 of those test kits, and we sent them back home so that people can use those machines to test for blood sugar free. And then finally, under A, we are going to introduce advanced world-class infrastructure in Enugu State. You know, when we talk about infrastructure, the only thing that people talk about is road. And what they tell me is that, oh, the roads are being built here, they're building road here and there. And I ask them, have you looked at the quality of the roads that are being built? When you look at the roads that are being built, you see that the quality is nothing to write home about. It's very, very low quality. The roads don't last. After a couple of months, you can't even use the roads. They're all spoiled. And the thing that pains me is when they go and they scrape the road that has been there for several years, which is even stronger, and they go there and in a bid to use the specified thickness, they just pour chippings and other materials, and they don't. You know, when you pour it, when you want to achieve like maybe 4 inches, you have to pour something like 10 inches. Then you now compact it to 4 inches. But some of the contractors, they'll just pour 7 inches, and just the roller will just pass it one, to just reduce, and they say 6 inches. Exactly. What that does is that you don't have a strong road. I'm somebody who is into construction, so I know these things. I know what to do. But infrastructure is not just about roads. It's about transportation. It's about rails. It's about mass transit, and it's about so many. So we're going to. There was plans to build a monorail in Enugu. We're going to reactivate that plan. The person who was to build a monorail is Igwemezie. He has his company here in Toronto, Canada, and he's a very good friend of mine. So I'm going to use my relationship with him to try to reactivate that project in Enugu. In fact, I was involved somehow in that project. I was able to do. I consulted for them. We did some 3D drawing for them. So I'm very close to that project. I kept wondering why that project did not manifest. So I will do everything within my power as the governor of Enugu State to see that that project is resuscitated, because it's clean energy that drives the train, and then it's also a way of transporting people, you know, to and fro from the outside the city to the city center, and then they avoid all the big traffic jams when they use monorail. So we're going to activate that, and of course I talked about air transportation before. We'll make sure that all of those things are looked into. We'll build world-class infrastructure. We will also develop tourism in Enugu. Tourism is one thing that we have it all. You don't need to do plenty to develop tourism. We go for vacation outside the country. We go to Mexico, we go to the Caribbean, and when you go there, the thing you're paying to see is what we already have back home.
And we have even better.
We have culture.
Yes, now we have our cultural dances. There used to be masquerade festival that they used to do. I don't know. We need to reactivate such things, and we need to bring people. Anambra State was the first place they had masquerade festival in Nigeria. So, but when it was the old Anambra State. So now we need to bring back all of those things. Okay, we need to develop a cultural troupe that will tour the world and show people our culture and attract people. We'll work with the tourism department of the state government with our cultural troupe, and we send them right around the world to go there and showcase our culture, and then use that to invite them back to Enugu State. And you know, when they come, they will bring foreign currency.
Yeah, a source of revenue.
Of course. And then the hotels will be busy, the transportation will be busy. Yeah, we're even going to develop, you know, like they have Uber system for taxi, for taxis. We're going to develop that right down to even Okada.
In Nigeria.
In Enugu.
Enugu, yeah.
Yes, those are plans that we have.
Like Uber, like the Uber we're using.
Yes. You call Okada, the Okada will be nicely dressed. You don't have to pay him. You pay him through the app on your phone.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh yes, we're going to. In fact, there are so many things we are not letting, because every time we talk about an idea, somebody steals it and they do it before we get there. So we have a lot of ideas,
exactly.
Sophisticated ideas that are 2018 compliant. Because you know, in our party we have smart young people who know what the country needs and what the world needs and where the world is right now. So these are they've been brainstorming, and there's marvelous ideas that we already have.
Now that you are running for the governor of Enugu State, there are also some oppositions like PDP and APC. How will you deal with them, especially when it comes to ringing elections in Nigeria?
Well, what you have to understand is that APC and PDP is one and the same party. There's no difference between them, because it's the same people in APC that we have in PDP. And they already have an established system. They're not going to change. You don't learn, you don't teach new tricks to an old dog. So the only way they know how to win an election is through rigging. So let them bring their rigging. We also have our joker for them. So we're waiting for them. We already know their strategy. We've seen what has happened recently when the government in power employed all kinds of things to influence the elections in Ekiti and in Osun State, you know, and we saw how money was freely shared. So let them try it. One thing for sure is that they were able to use the power of state. They used about 30,000 policemen in one state, but you're not going to be able to multiply it when the other 34 states are going to be holding elections. You cannot have 30 times 34 policemen. And remember, each policeman is supposed to be in his area to be able to vote, so they cannot just move around. So that also is a checkmate for them. They're not going to be able to muster that kind of force that they mustered in Ekiti and Osun State. That's number one. Number two is that you see that you remember the House was able to approve for electronic voting to be used. So when it is electronically used, things can be calculated, things can be monitored. It's not just saying that, oh, you know, the paper didn't come on time here, where this person changed the figures. We can go back after the election, and INEC can produce the data that is stored in these machines, and we'll be able to use it to be able to counter whatever. I'm not saying they cannot rig. Yes, let them go ahead and rig. And then the biggest task that we have facing us is how to be able to reach out to the grassroots and talk to them. Yes. That is the biggest task. Information, because nobody has been talking to them. APC don't go to the people to talk to them. PDP don't go to talk to them. They just go there and share money. So for a long time, they have not been hearing from the politicians. They have not been hearing from the candidates. So for the first time after so many years, now here is a party and the people who will go and tell them the situation. Like, we go and educate them about the money that is being given to them, the origin of that money, the source of that money. In a video I did, when I called it Ekiti Blood Money, we broke it down for them. That 1,000 naira they gave you is the money that the politician that was, or the contractor who was given contract to build the road in your village. He did not build it. And so the potholes made that van, that bus, have accident and killed your people, your village people. And the ones that were not killed, they rushed them to the hospital. But guess what happened? When they got to the hospital, there was no light, because the contractor that was supposed to buy the generator did not buy the generator. He kept the money for politics. The person who was supposed to supply medicine did not supply the money. Did not supply the medicine. He kept the money. The person that was supposed to equip the hospital with oxygen tank did not do that. The blood bank, there's no light, so the fridge is not working, so there's no blood. That's why all those people died.
Hey.
Now that is the same money that they came and they distributed to you and you took it. So the blood of those people who died as a result of the things that those people did not do, and now they hold that money, their blood is crying on that money that you're holding. And when we tell them this kind of stories, they sit back and they say, it's true. It is true. I'm not saying that every money that you see in the hands of a politician or somebody vying for election is blood money, but at least it makes people ask questions. This person that is giving you money, where was that person 4 years ago before election? Do you even know him? Do they come back to you? They are representing you, but they are all the time in Abuja. You never get to see them.
You don't even see them.
And when
after the election, you can't approach your governor of your state. It's not easy to
even your member of House of Reps. You don't even see them, or the senators. So we are making people. The war is a war of the mind. So opposition that we have, let them keep opposing us with their money and their rigging. We will oppose them with educating the people. Because the greatest place to touch a human being is in his mind. If you can change their ideology, if you can change their perception of what should and what should not be, then I think they would work better with you. Yeah.
Wonderful. So do you have any other thing to share with us today?
What I want to share with us is especially for people in the diaspora. One thing that I find amazing is that when we're in the diaspora, we complain about the situation in the country. We complain how people keep demanding money from us. We know we work very hard. People in the diaspora, some people have 2-3 jobs. You know all the bills that you have to pay. You know there are no free lunches abroad. So they work extra hard. Those that really work hard, not the people who go into dubious things. So after all the complaining, and we come on the internet and we attack people and we write long notes and we do videos where we speak a lot of grammar. You know, we accuse the government, we do everything. We say no, they must change the government. When an opportunity comes for us to participate in the politics of the day, I don't see the people from the diaspora anymore. Okay, when they don't even want to go, when somebody elects to actually go down there to change things, they don't support them. So I'm confused. I'm like, what do we really want? I've reached out to a lot of people and they just avoid you. They don't take your calls. They see your text message, they don't reply. So I'm wondering, what is the problem? I'm open to listening because these are people I have been with us, I have talked with us, we've all reasoned together, we have worked, we've said we have to make a change, we have to. How would we sit in the diaspora and make the change back home? How can we make the change online?
Do you think Nigerians in diaspora will be the perfect people to change the country?
No, I'm talking about support. You know, we can't. That's what I'm saying. We can't change them from the diaspora. We need to go down.
Okay.
So if we are not able to go down, maybe because of our disposition, our jobs, and all that, if somebody goes down there from the diaspora, shouldn't we support the person?
But some people are supporting him.
So that's what I'm saying. The people who are not supporting, I want to know why.
Why they are not supporting?
Yes.
Maybe they have doubts. So
that's what I'm saying. They should. You see, the thing is this. Remember where I started from. We keep talking to ourselves. We've always been here talking. We have said this and this and this is what we need to do. We have finally concluded that the only way we can start, you have to start, is by going there.
But your political party is one diaspora voting. The one Frederick.
Organized. Yes,
organized.
We won.
Yeah, that shows that they are supporting mostly your own political party, AAC.
Try to understand what I'm saying, Ekwe. That is in the diaspora. That is online. You don't win elections online in Nigeria. Fine, they supported our party. We already did what we did by voting for Shore is we just spoke our minds to people in Nigeria. We just told them what we had already known a long time ago. So that's what I'm saying. We already know we don't like the government in Nigeria. We already know we want to change the system in Nigeria. We spoke loudly by declaring Shore the winner of that election. But for Shore to win in Nigeria, he needs to practically go down to people. He needs logistics. He needs to move around. It costs money. So I expect the people in diaspora, but I must tell you, try to understand me, in all honesty, we seem to have gotten more support, more financial support, especially from people in the diaspora, more than anywhere else. No, that is correct. But I'm just appealing to those of us who have not been supporting, because if all of us stand behind one candidate and sponsor that person, $1, $2, $10, it doesn't matter. If we bring all this money together, then we can go down and match them force for force, money for money. We may not be able, but I'm telling you, if all of us in the diaspora collect our money together, we will beat them even financially. I want to appeal to every Nigerian in the diaspora. You guys have been supporting our party. You guys have been supporting Omoyele Shore, and what he's doing is organize a lot of fundraising, town hall meetings all over the world, and you guys have powered all of these town hall meetings, and you have supported him. But please, I'm appealing to you, we need more help. More help is needed. Whichever way you can support us, whichever way that you can you can be of financial help to us, we need you, we require you. Don't give up. Sponsor somebody. A group of you can sponsor one person to go back home and talk to our people back home, just like we have said. Please, there is room for a lot of those things, and it is highly welcome. That's what I got to say.
Thank you, Dr. Chidi Omayawu. So when are you going to Nigeria for your campaign again?
The campaigns are starting on the gubernatorial campaigns are starting on the 1st of December.
Oh.
Yes, and then the presidential campaign is starting on the 15th of November. Thank you so much. Also, let me use this opportunity to thank Inepe for how you highlight the culture of our people. I see your programs, and you always you're passionate about things about Nigeria, and even with the Nebo TV that you started. Just encourage you to continue doing that, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Chidi.
Okay.